Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game. There is something that I've kind of noticed, but I wasn't really able to figure out why it was a thing. I noticed that Lorem still has... Well, Lorem has a shadow on the background, whereas the other characters do not. And it did not occur to me until basically just now what is up with that. Lorem is the character whom I got a bad ending for. He was the character I brought to the end of the first run, and he died at the end of the first run, and that created a silhouette for him on the title screen. And after I got his good ending, his silhouette never went away. I wonder if that means that all the other characters would have silhouettes if I got their bad endings, or at least in the case of the main five. Anyway, looks like there are some messages on the answering machine. Let's see. It's payday, Erika. The tests are ready, the machine is ready, the lab is free. Only one more thing is needed to get this party started, and that would be you. So you better bring your body to me, or else I'll have to come get it myself, in which case I won't be able to guarantee your safety. I hope you aren't afraid of needles. I'm very afraid of needles. I am so thankful that that blood sampling thing was actually in a box and I couldn't actually see the needle. She's going to go all out, isn't she? I don't know, if I ignored her, would she wind up coming along... Ooh, I can listen to my records. Would she wind up coming along and dragging me there? Or would she just wind up feeling abandoned like other people do? Let's see, Kiba says, Main 5, didn't know this was MLP. I was kind of waiting for somebody to kind of get the unintended My Little Pony reference there. Anyway, I am, of course, going to go see Anna right now. I've been also told that it is very easy to screw up this third hangout with Anna, so I'm going to create 2 save files so that I have a file to go back to. In fact, I have 2 files to go back to in case things screw up during this hangout here. I can listen to my records later. There you are. I was wondering if you'd even show up. I'm an honorable person, wouldn't miss an opportunity to meet you, didn't have anything better to do anyway. Well, let's be honest. On this run, I wouldn't miss an opportunity to meet you. A glutton for punishment, huh? Not that I mind. Follow me, please. Ah, new room. Somehow I am not surprised that the beds are very much human hospital patient beds. Emphasis on the human. So, what exactly is this room? It's our testing room for research on live subjects. And what exactly do you test here? You'll see that soon enough. I intend to use this facility to its fullest potential. I see. Let's start with this one. What's that? I can get a good look at your bone structure, muscle groups, and organs with this. For the finer details, we'll need a different machine. Would you please lie down here? Of course. Before we start, can I ask about your qualifications? You can trust me, I'm a doctor. Yeah, mad doctor. What kind of doctor? Well, Doctor of Pharmacy is the only title I currently hold, but I know how to operate this machinery. I almost had a panic attack at the word operate. that doesn't exactly inspire confidence. You think I'd let an opportunity like this go to waste by not doing my research? I'll have you know that I'm very qualified to perform these tests. If you say so. Now, please try not to move too much while this is running. I make no promises. I am very ticklish, I'll have you know. And how long will that be? Good question. I suppose we'll see soon enough. And what do we do now? Just wait until it's over? What do you want me to do? Dance for you so you don't get bored? What does a dancing dragon look like anyway? Is that your scientific curiosity shining through? I can approve of that. You didn't answer my question. Well, I'm not going to show you. If you're that curious, you might find the answer in the seedier parts of town. Your town has seedy parts? Oh, there's a lot you haven't seen yet. I can only imagine that the people in charge would be trying to hide some seedy stuff from the all-important ambassador. You know, when I heard that something had happened at the facility, I thought it might have been you. It's quite something, isn't it? You know, if I stayed up as late as I used to, it might have been me instead of Damien. Don't I know it? And it's only because you told me not to stay late so often that I wasn't there that night. Now here I figured it was because you were with me. Still, somebody died. I'm not crying over that jerk. Alright, you can move again. Does that mean I'm done? That's a good one. We're just getting started. What about the results? I just remembered something. On my first run, we found out that the police confiscated all of Anna's stuff. I think that happens during the next investigation, or in between now and the next investigation. So I wonder if I'll be here when they try taking away her things. I wonder if Anna's good ending will require that I prevent that from happening. Anyway, results. Don't hold your breath. It'll be processing for some time, and the resulting data will be so vast that I'll probably end up studying it for days. Let's collect some samples now. Where should I start? Wherever you like. I mean, at the very least, I know you already got my blood. Show me your claws. That would be fingernails in my case. I suppose you're right. It would be insulting to call those little thin things of yours claws. They'd probably break up before you could make use of them in any practical way. Well, like I said, they can open soda cans. But yeah, they are kind of... Why don't we have claws? Just one more way nature gave us the short end of the stick. So, which part would be fun for me to cut off? Take a piece from the white part. The rest you see is attached to the finger. Hold still, then. Okay, I don't know what you all think about my little story times that I've been doing throughout this game, but there has been so many anecdotes, I think that's the word, and here's another one. Oh boy, when I was little, I hated getting my fingernails trimmed, and more importantly, my toenails trimmed. I'm not entirely sure what problem I had with it, but I remember this one time I was all fidgety when my mom was cutting my toenails, and I wound up getting cut in the process. Like, totally bleeding from my toenails. Nowadays, it's like totally not a big idea, totally not a big deal to cut my nails, and it's like, what was my problem back then? I mean, I'm pretty sure, like 99.9% certain, it was my fault that I was bleeding. I was fidgeting. I probably would not have bled had I not been fidgeting. But yeah, prior experience, I will, in fact, hold still. Don't cut off too much. Don't worry, I only need enough to put it under a microscope. There, was that so bad? Do you want me to put a bandage on your little boo-boo? Whatever. Oh, I guess with the right training, I can make something out of you after all. And what now? Now I'll go right under the microscope. Or it'll go under the microscope. She got up and sat down at a table. Intently, Anna stared at the device while messing around with the nail clipping. Let's see. Putting her fingernail under a microscope is something we used to do in middle school. Really? What class was I in? Quiet, please. There's a scientist at work here. Okay. Hello, Maddie. Welcome to the stream. The structure looks a lot like keratin. Well, that's because it is keratin. Because it is. Well, that's not much of a surprise, really. Keratin is the substance that forms the claws on us dragons and most of the animals here, at least as far as mammals, reptiles, and birds are concerned. So why you would retain the structure, but not do anything useful with it is beyond me. It gets better. They grow continuously, so they need to be cut regularly. What happens if you don't cut them? They just keep growing. I have seen pictures. How much can they keep growing? Pretty much indefinitely. Do they get thicker at least? Or what else happens when they grow? They just get longer. What a hassle. Don't claws need to be kept shortened as well, though? So, how long are you planning on keeping me here? Getting impatient already? I'm just saying, our date didn't take all that long, and you mentioned you'll already have days worth of data from that machine. Well, we never specified any terms, and I set out our date until it was officially over. This will certainly go by much quicker if you can show a little patience. Says the Queen of Complaining. I'll just shut up then. Just hurry up. All three of these seem just a little bit rude. But other three, I'll just shut up then. I just won't say that I'll shut up. I'll just be quiet. Thank you. Okay, I did say that I'll shut up. By the way, how do you feel about needles? Please no. But I'm gonna save just in case. Afraid of needles, are you? Oh, you poor thing. I guess we can skip that part, because I certainly don't want to deal with you if you start screaming or crying or whatever else. No, I'm reloading. I want to ensure that we get the best ending that we can get out of this, and if we actually skip part of this, that might result in something important being missed. So, go ahead and poke me if you need to. I see. I'll make the most of it then, and I'll be looking over here if you don't mind. You'll need to remove some layers for the next part. What are you going to do? These are just some electrodes, and I'll also measure your brain activity with one of those helmets. Alright. There you go. What is it now? Nothing. If you say so. I'm just thinking how rarely I've had the opportunity to undress around these naked dragons. This will also take a while. I want to have a good reference and see how your rates change. Your head shape is a little different from ours, but I think this one should do the trick. Perfect, just as if it was made for you. I mean, given the history of this world, I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Kiba says she's wearing a pencil and goggles. That doesn't count. What was I saying? Just as if it was made for you? I'm not so sure of that. By the way, how can you even be sure that your machinery will have no adverse effects on me? I suppose I can't. That is mildly unsettling. Your physiology is similar enough to ours that there shouldn't be any problems. I see. I'll admit I was a little bit concerned about using an X-ray on me. Is that the machinery I hear? Are you listening to my heart? Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions. What is this, a polygraph test? No, this is something completely different. I'm also measuring your brain activity here. Besides, I don't really care about the truthfulness of your answers. Rather, this is to establish your natural highs and lows of the values I'm measuring. Go ahead, then. Let's start with the easy ones. Just say no to the following 3 questions. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Understood? No. I set myself up for this one, didn't I? The questions start now. Are you human? No. I see. Is your favorite color magenta? No. Interesting. Have you been convicted of any crime? No. I see. Now, we'll get to the real part. You can answer the following questions however you like. Got it. Did it make you uneasy when you had to answer all the test questions negatively? I mean, did it? Maybe slightly? I see. Interesting. Have you taken a liking to anyone here since you arrived? Yeah. I see. Did you have any ulterior motives when you came to our world, or is it as simple as we are led to believe? Well, I mean, I did want to see all the dragons. But that is not an option, so I'll say no comment. I see. That's all for this test. You can take off the helmet, and I'll take care of the electrodes. This kind of seemed like an interrogation. I wanted to keep it simple by asking questions that could get a reaction. I see. It's kind of a shame, because in the end, a lack of additional subjects for this test means those results might not be very useful to us. We'd probably need a few more humans. Then why do you need them in the first place? The data is still useful, just not as useful as it could be. And besides, I did tell you I'd make the most of this room. Well, what's next? I'm not sure yet. Do I want to get close enough to examine mucosa and orifices? This could get awkward. Maddie says that sounds like she's being forward. I was more under the impression that I'd have a very uncomfortable meeting with a thermometer. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the non-answer because I'm not really certain. There's only one person in this room who can answer that question. I guess so. We quarantined Reza when he initially arrived here, but skipped the procedure with you. After examining Reza, we didn't think humans by themselves posed any danger. Nevertheless, who knows what kind of illness and bacteria you might be housing as an alternate host. I'm not taking that risk without a full protective suit. Does that mean your procedures are going to get a lot more invasive? No, I'm not in the mood to put the suit on and sterilize the whole room. To be fair, I haven't heard of anyone I've been in contact with getting any strange diseases thus far. I will admit, this is something that I've thought about on multiple occasions during this adventure. Because it's like, I'm probably carrying some sort of germs from 65 million years in the future. But regardless of any sort of, regardless of my origins, there is that thought of bringing germs to another world. Suddenly, whatever diseases are harmless to you, you've basically brought on the bubonic plague to another civilization. Whether you're in the past, future, or another planet. But no, haven't heard of anything like that so far. Sure, but then I'd have to ask you if any of those actually got close enough to you. As in, intimately close. No orifice examinations, then. For the next part, we'll actually have to go outside. That sounds like fun. Depends. Here, strap this to your arm. What's this? A handheld monitor. I want to measure how you perform during exercise. Yes, ma'am. That's a good little human. Let's go then, shall we? Sure thing. And now, take one lap around the block. I'll be waiting for you here. You can go as fast or slow as you want, but try not to stop until you're back here. I'll be monitoring you, so I'll know if you try to do anything fishy. I wouldn't do such a thing. Of course not. The honest and good Erika would never do such a thing. There's no need to make fun of me for it. You're such a bleeding heart, Erika. Anyway, you can start whenever. The monitor should take care of the rest. Trying for a consistent speed, I started with a light jog. Soon, I was outside the gate and around the corner when I met an unexpected surprise. That is a surprise. And unexpected. Hey, Erika. Hey, Remy. Long time no see. Indeed. Just enjoying the fresh air, I see. Yeah. You know, if you ever want to come by and visit the library or need to know anything, feel free to ask me. Ah, well, thanks. My pleasure. Afterwards, I finished my lap around the block, arriving only a few minutes after I had started. I suppose it was too much to ask for a lap without any breaks. Maybe I shouldn't have expected you to be as fit as we are. I got distracted on the way. How so? Did you have to stop and smell some flowers? I met Remy. Remy? Oh, I wouldn't mind if that jerk kicked the bucket too. Thankfully, that is something that never happened on any of my runs. Though, I've heard it can. Also, I agree with Maddie. Wow. What do you have against him? He's such a self-righteous do-gooder who can't help but stick his nose where it doesn't belong. I don't care what he does as long as he doesn't mess with me, but he does mess with me, so I do care. Anyways, I've got your data, so we can head back inside if you're not too exhausted to walk. Of course. Looking at your data, it's kind of hard to evaluate it without having any reference points. How much exercise do you usually get? I don't really exercise. Not unless you count my walking around the house. I do that a lot. But I'm not sure if that counts. Well, I might say a little. It's not like I sit around all day. Even if I'm not taking a brisk walk, I am moving around. I see. You sure get to ask me a lot of questions here. All just part of the test. Though I think those were all the tests I needed to run on you for today. Does it mean we're done here? Oh, some of the data from the scanning machine has been processed. We can look at some pretty pictures of you. Unflattering as they may be, why don't you print them out and have them framed? I'd rather be looking at some pretty pictures of you instead. Unflattering as they may be. Well, you don't have to look if you don't want to. Oh, right. I totally forgot that you are a mammal. To encounter an intelligent mammal of all things. Well, reasonably intelligent at the very least. Why is that so surprising? You already have your myths about humans. Myths are myths. Having you here in the flesh is an entirely different thing. It's not like I could use our myths to get a scan like this one. It just seems so funny to me. Do you nurse your young from your teats as well? We do. Let me settle studying your muscle groups for a bit. Do you want me to take my clothes off again? I meant the pictures. Oh, I see. You can stay for a bit longer in case I have any questions. Okay. I'm really hoping that so far I have not chosen a bad option. There's at least one question where I feel like maybe I might have screwed something up. I think it was something to do with the needles, or... No, what was it? Well, I know I fixed my option with the needles. There was some other question. The orifices question. I hope I did not choose a bad answer for that one. While I continued sitting on the bed, she went up to her table and started looking at the scans of muscle groups. As we talked, her eyes never left the screen. Some of these structures are very similar to those found in Damien's kind. He is actually kind of more biped than most dragons. Kind of like with Zong. And also Kevin. I'm not surprised. His stature is similar enough. True, true. Now shut up and let me concentrate. Does that approach ever work? What are you talking about? You being that rude to everyone. Sorry. You apologized. That's a new one. I don't want to make any excuses, but with a high-pressure job like mine, I don't really get to go out and socialize much. Add some deteriorating circumstances to that, and you get my life. Don't you have any friends? Not really. If you keep skipping grades like I did and were on the fast track in university, you wouldn't really have the time to make or keep any friends either. I think the last time I had a real friend was more than a decade ago. Well, that's kind of a bummer. What happened to that friend? Well... I had a feeling we'd be getting a flashback. We went to the same class for a while. I ended up skipping a grade after that year. She found new friends. I didn't. We still met, but those visits became less and less frequent as time went on. I was around 10 years old when her parents prompted me to visit her. She was in the hospital. Apparently had been for some time already. I didn't know because I hadn't seen her for quite a while at that point. She had contracted some sort of degenerative disease that caused her to gradually lose control of her muscles. Her case was particularly bad. She was already paralyzed from the neck down by the time I went to visit her. When I entered her room, I couldn't even pretend to be her friend. Lying in the bed was just a crude image of her former self. It was as if she was already dead. I couldn't bear to see her like that. It scared me. I didn't stay long. Seeing her like that was... I just told myself I never wanted to end up like her, dying slowly, painfully, and alone. That was the last time I saw her. She died a few weeks later. And that's why you became a scientist? Not really. I became a scientist because that's apparently what I'm good at. Doesn't make my work any less important, though. Just from what we did here today, we might make a few breakthroughs in several areas. Really? You are a completely different, yet stable evolutionary line. There are some things that are similar in our bodies, and others that are completely different. Anything that is different and works can tell us something new about biology. All the various species have their own challenges and diseases. It'll come in handy somewhere for sure. And you're doing all of that because of your pure and selfish heart. Not really. But if I do the brunt of the work, then I deserve to have my name on it. I guess so. Well, I think that's it for the day. You can go if you like. Sure. Thanks for having me. My pleasure. We could get together if you want to. Is there even anything left for you to test? Well, I'll have plenty of data for a while, so I guess we'd have to find something else for us to do. I see. Well, I'll leave you to your work then. Free time today. Status good. No longer impressed. I'm still gonna want to keep these extra save files on hand, because... oh boy, it might be a while before I find out whether I screwed up anything or not. Okay, I know I said I was going to hang out with Lorem at some point. I'm not necessarily going to do that yet. I have an opportunity to listen to my records, and I don't know if this is my only opportunity, so I'm gonna listen. Are these the same records as before? Let me see here. Let's listen to the rock one again. No, these are the same songs. Oh, I still have time to meet with Lorem. Alright. This won't take long. I'll hit the skip scene option. I just didn't want to leave him hanging. Went to the bar Lorem had suggested that as our meeting place. When I looked around, saw Bryce sitting at a table, talking to someone I couldn't see. Leaned on him for a second, but soon spotted Lorem in the corner of my eye. There you are. Hey, Lorem. So it turns out you've seen this before. Either you could watch this again, or we could save some time and just skip to the end of the scene. Yeah, I want to skip ahead. As you wish. Don't worry about it. I'll just consider it a public service. Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity, especially after nearly getting denied by Sebastian when I met you. Just make the best of it. I certainly will. I really have to get going now, so maybe I'll see you some other time. Or timeline. Sure, have a good night. Take care. Okay, what one was this one going to be? Is this the one with the orphanage? This is the one with the orphanage. The hatchery, rather. So, we could skip ahead here. Anna is not involved with this. And then we have this scene with Maverick again. I did spend one day with Bryce. I wonder if that'll allow me to see... have a conversation with him again. Let's see. So, talking about going to the place where Reza is suspected to be hiding, Bryce and Sebastian are going to be going first. Maverick is the one who tipped them off. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Nope, I don't get that opportunity. That's kind of a bummer. I really wanted another opportunity to speak to Maverick. So, do the thing. Okay, let me think here. Take the bandage to the facility. Let's see what happens here. Is the stuff still stolen? Or not stolen, but, confiscated by the police. When I approached Anna's lab, I saw her sitting on the hallway floor, the door to her lab wide open. Hey, Anna. Oh, it's you. What's going on here? The police came and raided the place. What? Why? It's a long story, and I'm not going to tell it now. Is it bad? I don't know yet. I'm not sure how they expect me to work in these conditions, considering I get assignments from the council and the police. And then they both turn around and mess up the place as if it's part of their job. It doesn't make sense to me. Someone's going to hear about this, and there will be consequences, I can tell you that. Anyways, what did you want? I'm here to drop this off for you, courtesy of the police. That's what I'm talking about. Mess up my place, then ask for my help? Something isn't right here, and I'll get to the bottom of this. What is this, anyway? I'm sorry. It's a bloody bandage for analysis. It's related to the Reza investigation. Alright then, I'll take it. Not for the police department's sake, but for yours. Don't let me hold you up. I'm sure you have places to be. Well, see ya then. Yeah. Okay, the witness is Ipsum. It's not really important that I do any of these other three, but I'll just take the eggs to the hatchery. Excuse me. Nice to see you, Dean. Hello, Remy. Also nice to see Vera. Please don't die. Thanks for all your help. Now that the facility has received the bandage, maybe we'll discover something new. I'll take care of the remaining tasks so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See you. Oh. Skip you. I'm a little curious if there's any dialogue differences, but I don't necessarily know if you are currently me or not, so skip ahead. Okay, let's see here. Well, I definitely have plenty of opportunity to listen to my records. So at this point, I would want to meet up with Anna. Now, what do I want to do at this point? Do I move forward, or do I perhaps go back to that last hangout and try another option just in case? There's this uncertainty, especially considering Anna is no longer sitting as impressed. I'll save here. Let me load back up this part. Go ahead and poke me if you need to. Nothing. Is this before or after the orifice one? Here's the fun questioning. Uneasy, yes. Yes. No comment. Let's see. Do I want to get close enough to examine mucosa and orifices? I'm going to say probably not. You might be right. We quarantined Reza when he initially arrived here, skipped the procedure, who knows what kind of illness and bacteria. Okay, it looks like no matter what, let me back up just in case. Just in case. Do I want to get close enough to examine? Oh, I meant to say yes. I misunderstood the question. Okay. Yes. Yes. No comment. Do I want to get close enough? Sure, let's see what happens. Is that what you're into? Good to know. Okay. It looks like... Okay. Good to know. It doesn't seem to matter which of those questions I answer. So, though, that does leave me very curious. What did I choose to downgrade from impressed to just good? Well, hopefully it's not important. For now, we're going to go on a break, and when we come back from this break, it's the next date with Anna. And hopefully we'll get to the bottom of the police seizure